Happy Thursday, everybody, and welcome to Carthage Firebirds Overwatch Spectacular
The spectacular.
spectacular. I'm just adding in adjectives where needed. It is on a very special snow day, so it's a very winter-themed broadcast, I guess. All the other sports, I believe, were fully canceled, and we are still alive and kicking.
We play on.
I am happy to do it. I'm your host, Bearded Man, and I'm joined by the terrific Flair. How you doing, Flair?
I'm all right. I'm tired. It was a nice, cozy day. I'm excited to cap it off with some nice esports to commentate here. Do gotta say though, the walk from my dorm to here, not my favorite thing in the world. The snow was sharp.
Very, very true. I was bundled up. I looked like I was going to hike Mount Everest. I felt like Empire Strikes Back. I felt like Luke Skywalker on a tauntaun. Somebody's going to have to find a way to cut open some sort of massive tauntaun, I guess, big beast, and I'll have to keep warm in there. But it's not that. This is Overwatch. I'm excited for tonight. Firebirds are playing up against University of Oregon Ducks in week 2.
Quack, quack.
Week 1, the Firebirds did, I believe, I was very impressed with what we saw from the Firebirds last week, having a great series. What did you think?
Yeah, having moved up to the division, correct?
Yes, the Challengers Division.
To Challengers Division. I couldn't remember what the name of the next one up was for Overwatch. But having moved up to Challengers Division and, considering they started their emergence run last year getting rolled for probably the first month, having them, they got 3-0'd, but it was closer than I think the scoreline really shows.
Exactly.
It was overtime or just one missed opportunity, one missed ultimate. It's just the tweaks that needed to be made this week. I'm hoping those things were made because I'm excited to see some Carthage victory tonight.
Oh, yeah. No, I was very impressed overall looking at how they played. And 0-3s happen, especially when it's that close. There's no shame in it. It's definitely showing you're putting up a fight, and you're not letting them basically steamroll you and cause some issues. But week 2 against the Ducks, I'm excited to see how. I think they've practiced extensively this past week on what they needed to fix from game 1. I'm expecting to see a quite different situation here. I'm hoping we get to see something, especially with the hype coming off of the Rainbow Six Siege game on Tuesday. I hope that there's going to be
now
some.
That you, for those of us that didn't watch, you let us know what happened in that Rainbow Six game on Tuesday.
So in one of the craziest games I've casted, map 1, Firebirds doing pretty impressive. However, there was a rule violation. It was 3-3. There was a rule violation called on the Firebirds. The penalty was Firebirds having to give up one of the points, so it was 4-2. And then the Firebirds come back and win map 1, having some amazing plays. Now game 2. It going into a round, I believe, 13 out of 15, very, very much back and forth. Unfortunately, not winning map 2. Going into a game 3, mind you, at that point, we were about 3 hours in.
I gotta ask, can we set, what was the rule violation?
So in Rainbow Six Siege, there are no character skins allowed, and there's no setting in the game creation like there is with Overwatch.
Okay.
No setting to disable that. One of our players was running a skin, unfortunately. However, in game 2, the other team had the exact same rule violation. Well, unfortunately, we didn't get any. Neither team was penalized because of some I wouldn't say loopholes, some exceptions and situations.
What?
The situation was unique. I won't get into that. But going into map 3, Firebirds they were not doing well. It went 6-2 right away, really quickly. We had almost given up hope. The other team needed 1 point to win, whatever. And then the Firebirds come back and win 6 games in a row to take map 3, ending it at 11:30 at night, so close to midnight.
That's crazy.
I don't think we're going to experience that tonight because Overwatch is a little bit faster, just a tad bit faster.
I have an interview tomorrow, so I hope not.
I don't have an interview tomorrow. I have class and work tomorrow. So
fun. Me too.
Yeah. But the starting lineup tonight for the Firebirds seems to be another just amazing combination of players, having Crazy Mage, Lunar Synergy, Shinbone, Fuzzy, and Nancakes, some dominant players there. Crazy Mage on that tank role is a threat to be reckoned with. Always amazing to see Crazy Mage, especially on that Sigma. However, I said that last season on Overwatch 1, Crazy Mage was like the best Sigma player I knew. But this season on Orisa, I have to say, I am very impressed. So I am very, very happy to see how this is going to go tonight. Map 1 on Oasis Control Point.
Ooh, fun. And once again, best of 5 maps for those of you. Maybe this is your first stream.
If it is your first stream, welcome.
Welcome.
Happy to have you. Come back next week.
And we will be going from a control map to a hybrid map to an escort map to a push map to a control map again. We'll explain those as we go. But first, we're about to get started in the game, so let's see that starting lineup. Now,
on control maps, it is going to be both teams fighting for a King of the Hill style. But sorry about that. We're going to see that. Now, after that spectacular video, we are hopping right into the match. The Firebirds in their first fight. Firebirds starting off pretty dominant here, but both teams are proving their worth. Nobody really getting picked off in the first couple bits, but Crazy Mage running that wrecking ball, knocking around the Ducks. They're able to kind of stay together in a group. We're going to see Baptiste already popping out that amplification matrix for the Ducks, but the Firebirds taking really good positioning, making sure to get out of the way. Unfortunately, Crazy Mage and Shinbone are going to be picked off for the Firebirds, and they're going to have to back up. And Cloud Guy just already getting, I believe, a triple kill there in that first
fight. Yeah, the Firebirds are going to have to secede the point here. We don't really have game audio, I think, right now.
Now we have.
Now it's coming in. There we go.
Ask and you shall receive.
Ask and I shall receive. And also, I just got to say it now. I am so glad that Crazy Mage went back to Crazy Mage.
Yes, me too. Little bit of period there on Aurelius, was it?
Aurelius or something. I don't know. Aurelios, Oregano. I said something different every time, I think.
Yeah. Now we
just to spite him.
Just to spite him. I love it. Now we did see the Ducks popping that Reaper ultimate, that Death Blossom, but the Firebirds only losing one of their members and still holding strong, taking out another one of the Ducks players and kind of regaining some ground, making it kind of an even match there, but the Firebirds were able to push back towards the point. Only about 46% of the point has been captured, but the Ducks are going to pull out a really, really impressive Earth Shatter, only taking out 2 people, 4 people, 5 people.
It turns into a team kill. Only taking out 1, 2, 3, 4. All 5 are gone now.
It would not be a broadcast without me being proven wrong as I say
caster's curse, man.
The
caster's curse.
It is unbelievably bad for me for some reason. Every time. It's always immediate too. It's very rarely.
Yeah. It's never like it happens a couple seconds later. When it's you, it's almost immediately you get turned around there.
Always unfortunate, but the Ducks are popping several ults here, but the Firebirds are going to be retaliating with a few of their own. Lunar Synergy using that high noon, taking out Avian for the Ducks. Unfortunately, Firebirds losing one of their support players, and then NANCAKE's getting a kill there, evening it out. Lunar Synergy making sure that another dominant support player is out of the picture, and the Firebirds, taking out both of those supports for the Ducks, are able to come in, really mop up the rest of the Ducks. However, Cloud Guy for the Ducks was able to kind of stall on point just a little bit longer, and the Firebirds losing a lot more time. They were able to capture the point, but the Ducks were able to get it all the way to overtime there.
Yeah, you know, Firebirds in a tough spot right now. I mean, 99% already done by the Ducks. They got to hold it for a while here, which means a couple good fights, and a couple fights they're going to have to win without any ults, and with Crazy Mage going down, that's not going to be a great start.
No, and that is unfortunate to see, and all of a sudden, Lunar Synergy also joining Crazy Mage in that respawn, and the overtime clock is ticking down. The Firebirds are having to pull out some tricks here, pull out whichever bit of speed they can get, and unfortunately, it was not fast enough. The Ducks take round 1. But it's only round 1. A lot of Overwatch to be played. Firebirds could still come back.
Yeah, you know, it'll be a tough comeback. That was a very strong showing by the Ducks to start us off. I'm losing game audio once again, personally. I don't know if anyone else is. I'm just going to say it, just so someone's aware.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure what's causing that.
What did you think of game 1 or round 1?
I mean, everything's the Ducks there. I mean, there was some very impressive Cloud Guy plays are my main one to look at there. So I think looking forward, it's going to be Cloud Guy you got to shut down. Let me give you the quick starting lineup because I don't think we did for the Ducks there. We got PK Starstorm, Cloud Guy, PK Starstorm I like. That's an Earthbound reference. Cloud Guy, Avian, Foolish, and Genevieve is what I'm going to go with.
I like that. You know, I did notice, I thought that was an Earthbound reference, so I'm glad you called that out because I was questioning it myself. But the Firebirds taking that left path as per usual on this Oasis site and being met by the Ducks. It looks like the Ducks running Winston into a Wrecking Ball composition. Hard to say how that's going to go, but I think it might be in favor of the Ducks. Crazy Mage, though, is kind of taking a little bit more of a passive role, waiting for that grappling hook to come back in, and is going to use it and take out Avian right off the bat for the Firebirds. Really good picks there, but Crazy Mage taking a ton of damage, especially from that Winston Tesla cannon. Lunar Synergy on that Tracer is trying to dive the backline, but is going to get slept by Foolish, and the Firebirds kind of being backed off, really dominated by this Reaper there for the Ducks. Using that Death Blossom, Nancake's falling to it, but Fuzzy was able to use that Kiriko kunai. I couldn't think of what it was called. The kunai, and taking it out. Unfortunately, though, more and more picks happening for the on the Firebirds, and the Firebirds are going to have to back up. They're just really not able to grab this and hold this ground, it looks like.
Yeah, it seems like it's a tough one for the Firebirds. Right, really, the thing that I think is the most troubling is we keep seeing the tank go down so quickly. So we either got to pick smarter fights with our tank, or we got to protect our tank a little better. I'm not quite sure what's causing Crazy Mage to go down so often, but that's been the catalyst for the Ducks to get all these rounds so far. But a whole bunch of altars thrown out. How about you break it down for us there, Bearded Man?
So the Firebirds we saw Crazy Mage popping that minefield onto the site, taking somebody out along with Lunar Synergy's Pulse Bomb. However, PK Starstorm for the Ducks, popping that Primal Rage, kind of going into the backline of the Firebirds, and we saw like Crazy Mage and some of the DPS not really rotating, and the Primal Rage was able to take out 2 of the Firebirds. So ultimately, it just ultimately not working out for the Firebirds because they were not focusing on the issue at that point. They weren't focusing on that Primal Rage in the backline, and it just destroyed them.
Yeah, I mean, there you go. Thank you for always breaking it down for us that don't understand the game as in-depth. But I'm seeing a lot more picks now by the Ducks here as they will take out almost half the Firebird squad. And down goes the tank now, and that might do it for the Firebirds unless Lunar Synergy can't quite make it out.
No.
Maybe they can make it back to point. Not quite.
Oh, that was beautiful. It's like we've been doing this for so long.
We've been doing this together for a little while.
But unfortunately, map 1 is going to go to the Ducks. Now, there is still more to be played. Control points are always so unique. It's such a unique game mode that it's very hit or miss sometimes. The Firebirds were able to get some percentage on the clock, but just not enough to really put any sort of threat for the Ducks, I think. What do you think they're going to have to do to fix it up for game 2?
One, I think we got to organize our pushes a little more. I think the tank is too easily separated from the supports, and once you lose the tank, everything seems to be going downhill. The other thing in terms of who to look out for on the Ducks, I think you got to start going after Cloud Guy. Cloud Guy is just doing too good a job as getting to the back line as Reaper and taking out our supports. So overall, those are the 2 key points I want to look forward to as we go into the hybrid map next. And so the ban will come from the winner. So the winner there, the Ducks will ban, and they will ban something in a minute here, and then the Firebirds will have their pick when we come back from the break.
This is a pretty great song.
I like
really
that song a lot. I was bopping.
I might have to get the name of that song and add it to my playlist. But welcome back, everybody, for Map 2 of tonight. Your Carthage Firebirds Overwatch team playing the University of Oregon Ducks. Map 1 not going too hot. Map 1 really, really not hot. I think.
Was a warm up.
I'd like to think it's a warm up.
It was a warm up.
Control
That's what I
maps,
say every time I lose game 1. It was a warm up.
It happens, and there's a lot of game to still be played coming up. So game 2 of this series is going to be a hybrid game mode on Midtown. The Ducks banned Parisio. Or Parisio. I forget how to pronounce it. I forget where the inflection is.
I don't know. It's a new map. I don't know the new maps yet.
But we're on Midtown, so it's New York.
Yeah, and there is something I'm looking for on this one, and it's if the Firebirds push to that bridge, they just go under it.
They just go under it.
I don't want them to get stalled by trying to worry about the people on top this time. If that was the one struggle that I think was the downfall of the Firebirds on this map last week.
It really was, and I'm hoping that we see it change up just enough. But our roster is going to be changing up slightly from game 1. Firebirds are now putting in Lunar Synergy onto that tank. Donut is going to be moving it onto that DPS. Shinbone onto that DPS slot. You're staying on the DPS slot, and Fuzzy and Nancakes on the support slots. Shinbone and Donut running a Torbjorn and a Pharah. Lunar Synergy on that Ramatra that we've loved to see. We saw last week, great person to be playing Ramatra. And Fuzzy and Nancakes on that Zenyatta and Mercy respectively. Now the Ducks are going to be it's going to be PK, Starstorm, Cloud Guy, Avian, Foolish, and Genevieve, same roster as last round on that Winston, Reaper, Tracer, Ana, and Lucio. Round has started. The Firebirds are going to be on defense right off the bat. We do see Nancakes and Donut running that pharmacy composition, that combo, that duo, if you will.
Yeah.
I don't think I feel like it's not as strong
Fuzzy
as it
starting
used to be.
off there.
Yeah, but Fuzzy making sure to get a double kill there on Zenyatta and Lunar Synergy, mopping up the other support, making sure Shinbone and Lunar Synergy can get even more of a good fight there, and the Firebirds are going to get a team kill there.
Great start there by the Firebirds. And also, hey, I got to, not to gas him up any more than he needs to, but I got to give a little tip of the cap to the camera guy, as we got a nice little intro through the city to start that one off there.
I know. We really are increasing our production budget as we get more and more of these guys strapped with balloons onto their backs. But we do see Donut taking out one of the supports for the Ducks. Great pick there. Going to be really good for the Firebirds. Unfortunately, though, PK Starstorm is going to be using that charge and taking Lunar Synergy, literally taking him out of the fight, taking him to the other side of town. Now, just not working out for the Ducks, though, because despite getting that pick, the Firebirds were still able to kind of hold that defensive line.
Oh, and there's Donut
is taking out that Sojourn for the Ducks, and another charge is not going to be able to do anything. Donut taking him out again. Ramatra, the Torbjorn turret is going to be taken out, though, but the Firebirds still holding their own, and because Shinbone is playing Torb perfectly, not focusing on that Torb, but instead playing Torb in a more of a offensive style, the attack Torb, as we used to call it, Firebirds are going to continue holding it for now. That being said, I'm expecting the Ducks to be switching it rather soon to probably try and change it up. What do you think they would need to do to beat the Firebirds? I
think the thing that the Ducks need to focus on is hit scan here. Avian needs to start being able to take out Donut just a little bit better, or maybe even switch into because I'm not 100% sure. Is what's the name of that new hero? I need help.
Sojourn.
Is Sojourn a hit scan?
She is, but she's not accurate in the slightest. She's like Tracer.
Okay.
Not accurate if you're any sort of distance. And as I say this, though, the Firebirds getting another triple kill here, might be finishing off PK Starstorm, and that is exactly what's going to happen.
Oh, Cloud Guy gets the sad face.
Cloud Guy putting in the chat just a little bit of a sad face there. Now, here's the funny thing. Donut, we've had so many situations where Donut plays Pharah. The other team will try and counter, or in the past we've seen teams basically design their entire composition to counter Donut on Pharah, and it doesn't work out. And here, the Ducks don't even have a hit scan outside of an Ana to get him. And, I mean, you do have Sojourn's railgun that will act as a railgun. Donut can be popping that barrage, unfortunately not taking anybody out. Cloud Guy and Avian taking out Lunar Synergy and Donut. Unfortunately, this is going to mean the end of the Firebirds defense unless they could pull some really good tricks out of their sleeves, because they lost one of their main DPSs and their tank. Cloud Guy taking out Shinbone's turret, but Fuzzy taken out of the picture, and Nancake's also taken out of the picture after getting that res on Fuzzy. Shinbone, though, able to finally take Cloud Guy out, but unfortunately the Ducks bought enough time to secure point.
Very close for Fuzzy to almost be able to get back in there and contest.
Yeah.
But good time wasted by the Firebirds. As only 3 minutes will be on the clock for the second half of this map. Hybrid, once again, for those of you that are a little bit newer, it is a capture point first, and then it switches over to a escort the payload mission once you capture the point.
It's a bit of a hybrid between those two game modes.
You proud of that?
I am very
proud of that.
I am very proud of that. You know, sometimes it's just you just have to. You just have to take that joke. But Firebirds are holding that bridge. Will we see the Ducks go under the bridge?
That is the question.
What will the strategy be? Will they decide to go under the bridge? But they are switching off of Reinhardt, going on to Winston, and I think Winston might be the move here.
We also see Cloud Guy making the switch to a hit scan.
Yes, but will that work out? We do see Donut having to take a little bit more cover here, trying to dodge Cloud Guy's just attacks there. We do see PK Starstorm diving the top of the bridge onto the Firebirds, and Avian is taking out Shinbo, and Cloud Guy taking out Lunar Synergy. Donut, though, taking out Avian. Firebirds really kind of losing a lot of ground here. The cart is just now entering below the bridge, and Fuzzy in the backline trying to take out that Winston. The Firebirds should be focusing that Winston when he's alone in the backline, and we did see it didn't look like everybody was. Fuzzy was trying his best. Unfortunately, though, they were able, PK Starstorm not taking enough damage to get taken out, and being able to dive back onto the rest of his team and get healed up back to full. Now, Donut is still trying to do that pharmacy comp. Lunar Synergy using that Nemesis form, taking out PK Starstorm finally. And the Firebirds are going to buy a little bit more time. 70 seconds are on the clock for them to hold. Firebirds really need to hold it here, though, because if they lose like one more fight, the Ducks are probably going to push it all the way to that checkpoint.
Yeah, here's the thing we're looking out for now is the Firebirds have not been able to work as cohesively now that we're in this travel sort of a state, as people can get pushed around a lot easier when it's not just one point you're all working toward. And that's what we're seeing as this Primal Rage is getting kicked off here by PK Starstorm. Cloud Guy just executed their ult a minute ago. Donut trying to get in the back line. Work up a combo there with Lunar Synergy. It's going to get a couple, but ultimately I'm seeing back and forth during this battle.
Very much so. Now the Firebirds did lose one of their supports. NECC is popping that Valkyrie, able to do just a ton of healing now after that switch, that change in the latest patch notes. And the Firebirds kind of pushing the Ducks back. That being said, the Ducks have enough time to really hightail it back to point with maybe one more attack, and they're going to have that nano boost available rather soon, probably joined with that Sojourn ultimate. But now the overtime clock is ticking down slowly but surely, but because the Ducks are on that point, it is going to continue to stay still. The Firebirds really needing just to pick them off, but because Donut taking out one of the supports for the Ducks, that's going to be allowing the Firebirds to get a little bit of an upper hand. Shinbone taking out the Ana, and unfortunately Fuzzy and NECC are falling because now the Firebirds have no supports. They need to do something. Donut trying to dive in close quarters, expecting a little bit of a resistance there because he's doing a lot of damage to himself, but because Lunar Synergy popping that Nemesis form, hopefully taking somebody out here. Unfortunately not. Cloud Guy's going to finish him off. Firebirds need to get to that point right now. The overtime clock is there, but because they're not pushing forward right now, the Ducks are going to push it all the way to the checkpoint. They need to dive in right now. They have 0.06 meters left. I don't know how.
Gosh.
Shinbo got there in time. Cloud Guy taking a double kill there on both the supports.
Cloud
Two supports
Guy,
in the
jeez.
DPS. Oh my gosh. And a minute 30 is added to the clock. The Firebirds, I don't think they're protecting our backline.
Yeah, I mean, that, and then like you said, we're not seeing that focus on the Winston when he dives and pushes up so far without his team.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the times we need to capitalize on and punish, and we're just not seeing that right now out of the Firebirds.
We really are not. We're not seeing any sort of it feels like they're not really working as a team. They are in some aspects. The supports are really staying with the DPSs, but nobody's protecting the DPSs or the supports. And, Lunar Synergy being in front and center, it works sometimes, but when you have that Winston in the back line, you just need to take it out.
There you go, Shinbone.
Shinbone switching to that Reaper is going to be really good here. Having that Death Blossom at the ready, Lunar Synergy having Ramatra's ultimate ability, that the exact name, unfortunately, keep forgetting, but because it's just so unbelievably powerful.
Nemesis form?
No, the Nemesis form is the ability, not the ultimate.
Oh, yeah, the ultimate puts him in Nemesis form.
The ultimate,
now, yes.
Now, the ultimate for Ramatra, though, is just insane. And the fact that this is the nerfed version, and it's still such a dominant ability. I'm excited to see what Lunar Synergy is going to be able to pull off.
It's just called Destruction.
It literally it's
just called Destruction.
I think that's valid because that's exactly what happens. Now Shinbone can be nano boosted here, but saving the Death Blossom for some reason.
I think it's smart because of the beat drop being there.
Very true. Very true. That was good discipline there. Unfortunately, NANCCC's taken out of the picture, but Lunar Synergy popping Destruction and Lunar Synergy popping that Death Blossom. He's not getting anybody, but he's doing a ton of damage. Taking out enough health so that the rest of the Firebirds can mop up the rest of the Ducks, and Donut getting a double kill there on Torbjorn. Firebirds holding them enough. However, this is something we saw last week on this map, I believe, where they were able to hold them off inside, but the Firebirds were not able to push it all the way to that point.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm the Firebirds, I got to look forward to this round, but I'm also in the back of my head thinking, dang, we really almost stopped them from getting a single tick on that first point.
Very true. And I think it all came down to they were not focusing that Winston when the Winston was on our backline. When the Winston is alone, that's exactly what you want. Especially after he jumps, because there's the cooldown on his jump preventing him from getting back there after a certain amount of time. So that the Firebirds have enough time. If they focused every bit of damage into them, I'm sure they would have been able to take him out, but they weren't, and the backline was just destroyed by PK Starstorm. Now, Firebirds on attack, we might be seeing something very different here. We might be seeing a lot more dominance. Hard to say at this point. Lunar Synergy is going to Reinhardt here. Donut still staying on that Pharah. Shinbone on that Ashe. Fuzzy and NANCCC's on Ana and Mercy. Now, Fuzzy and NANCCC's Ana Mercy, as I say that, Fuzzy switching off of Ana onto that
every
Zenyatta.
Time.
And as I say that, he switches back to Ana. Fuzzy, what are you doing? It's
messing
not
with
that
you,
it's bad.
J-ball.
It's that he's listening to me, apparently, or just understanding that he doesn't want me to be right. As I say that, though, Fuzzy switches to Lucio. So we have seen like 3 different compositions here from our supports. And as I say
That's
that,
hilarious.
he switches off of Lucio back on his Zenyatta.
You've been played.
Apparently.
To the utmost degree.
I can't have a great time here. But because we've seen some dominance on Zenyatta from Fuzzy, I'm not mad. I'm happy to see Fuzzy sticking with what works and needing a little bit more damage in that backline. NANCCC's on Baptiste is going to also help them out. Firebirds are going to be taking this left-hand path through a lot of cover, causing a lot of of the initial attack from the Ducks to kind of not really work because it's just not able to unleash it onto a single area. Now Donut can be diving kind of a backline. Diving, Cloud Guy taking him out. Now Lunar Synergy taking a ton of damage as well. Fuzzy taking out, doing a lot of damage, not able to take anybody out, but Shinbo taking out Avian. Firebirds pushing forward onto that point. Lunar Synergy using that shield to kind of cause a little bit of, I can't remember what the word is, blocking all that damage from the Orisa, and the Firebirds mopping up the rest of the Ducks there, and Shinbo kind of just hiding in the corner of the site, just kind of enjoying it. Celebrating, cracking his knuckles, getting ready to do it again. But here's the moment of truth. Will they go over? Will they go under? I'm hoping they go under.
Will they go over? Will they go under? Indeed. 5 minutes now are awarded to the Firebirds as opposed to the 3 that the Ducks had just to make it to the next point here. They're going to start pushing through that first choke as the payload starts to come out. We're going to see Donut getting absolutely sniped out of the sky right now by Cloud Guy. Is able to find some cover in time as we head into the fight number 2. That's right.
Yeah, it's pretty much. But Fuzzy immediately taking out Cloud Guy of that fight. Really good. Now Donut can kind of push in and do a lot of damage. And you see
and
getting
Donut
a double kill there, or one kill, taking out the Immortality Field, and Shinbone taking out the other support. Gonna buy the Firebirds a lot of time. Now here's the funny thing: they're not really going over. They're not going under. They're going over. But because they were just they had the rest of the team kind of going under, they didn't have an issue because they weren't all pushing up there. They knew
exactly. Someone at least was pushing the payload.
They've
just
finished
the pressure you need.
Exactly. They finished off all of the Ducks that were on the top, and now they can kind of go underneath. Lunar Synergy popping that Earth Shatter, taking out or knocking down a lot of the Ducks. Unfortunately, though, not able to do enough to get any sort of kills. Shinbone taking out Cloud Guy, though, after that post-shatter damage. Really, really good there for them. Now Fuzzy and Donut are taking out the Tracer that's trying to flank around, but Lunar Synergy is getting a double kill there, one of which on the support, the other on the tank, and the Firebirds are going to capture that checkpoint, and now a minute and a half added to the clock.
So we're back to 5 minutes.
Back to 5 minutes. The Firebirds just need to push it to that yellow spot as far as the Ducks were able to push it, and they take this map. But I've seen it time and time again where I've experienced it firsthand where you have a lot of time and you lose it all in these indoor areas. So the Firebirds need to play a lot more carefully, I think. Not too confident.
It's going to be extra tough for Donut here without as much cover as you can get outside, and we almost
somehow. I believe that
see Chekhov's gun go off there.
Definitely. Now, the Firebirds having probably one more team fight if they can take out a tank. But Shinbone's Bob is going to take somebody out, and Shinbone taking out the Zenyatta. They just have to worry about the Kiriko, but Donut is trying to do it, and we do see the visor being popped, and Lunar Synergy distracting them. I think that, oh my gosh, that was great.
Boom! Goes the Firebirds there.
Boom goes the dynamite. Shinbone using that dynamite, doing a lot of fire damage, definitely helped them out. And Cloud Guy, though, getting the play of the game for this visor play, getting a double kill, taking out Donut. That was a good triple kill there. Unfortunately, not able to get the quad kill. Not able to finish off Shinbone. But Firebirds now tying the series 1-1. It is best of 5 tonight, so we have minimum of 2 more maps to go. It is on Escort next. I really like to see how that goes. I think they're now finally warmed up.
Yeah,
they're
like
hyped.
I said, it was a warm-up. Because
they
truly did look like a completely different game in map number 2. I was watching map number 1, and I was like, all right, so I'll be out of here in like 35 minutes. But I think we got ourselves a series on our hand. Thing I'm most excited about is we will get to see a push map.
We do get to see a push map, which is an interesting choice. It's an interesting game mode. I don't know how. I personally am not the biggest fan of it, but I think the Firebirds are ready for it.
Absolutely.
But we are going to take a quick little bit of a break while both teams get situated and we prepare for the next map. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back after just a quick little 5-minute break.
Bye-bye.
Sick of hearing the same story. Tales of another time. Encourage yourself.
Welcome back, everybody, to tonight's Overwatch game, Carthage Firebirds versus the University of Oregon Ducks. Map 1, Firebirds really not able to really get any sort of footing, losing map 1 in just an overall, I'd say, kind of a bloodbath at that point. But map 2, the Firebirds completely changing it up and doing really, really well. Are able to defend the Ducks from pushing it all the way to the end and on Midtown, and able to do just as well and finish it off really quickly with a decent amount of time left on the clock. So tying it up the series 1-1 on to map 3. We are now on Escort on Circuit Royale.
Circuit Royale.
Which,
interesting to see. You know, we played on it last week, got rolled on it last week. So hoping that we see something a little bit different this time.
Oh yeah, I love this map though. It's gorgeous. The great Monte Carlo scenery. You get to see the casino. You get to see the race cars. You know, the highlights of what Monte Carlo is kind of known for. Despite, I think the beautiful architecture is my favorite part. But what is yours? What do you like about this map?
You know, I like seeing it during daytime, to be honest. Yes. It does add a lot more vibrance to it. I like the city in the background that we got to see when our camera guy first pulled in. But now I'm just excited to see some Overwatch get played, as we got Donut, Lunar Synergy, Shinbone, Fuzzy, and NECC now defending against PK Starstorm, Cloud Guy, Avian, Foolish, and Janebi, running Sigma, Soldier, Widow, Baptiste, and Zenyatta.
Now the Firebirds running a Sigma, Cassidy, Ash, Mercy, and Baptiste. Unfortunately, against that Widowmaker, Avian is taking out both of the DPSs, again. Shinbone getting taken out, revived, and then taken out again, all by that Widowmaker. Firebirds, that is not good to see. Genevieve taking out Donut, and the Ducks are going to gain a decent, probably this entire first checkpoint. They're probably going to be able to capture with that one team kill, because it was so
that's crazy.
paced.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
Avian just can't be stopped right now.
I don't know what the Firebirds need to switch up, but they need to switch something up, because right now they're not able to do they're not able to just peek. You know, the moment they step out of cover, they're just a lot of damage. They're taking a lot of damage, and it's just not working out for them. And the first point has been secured. First checkpoint, minute and a half added to the clock, 5 minutes and 15 seconds. Wow. The Firebirds really need to pull some trick out of their hat. As we see here, the Ducks are turning onto this final stretch. The Widowmaker, though, is just taking cover. None of the Firebirds are diving the Widowmaker. You know, they're trying to take these long shots, Lunar Synergy on Cassidy, but it's not working out. Unfortunately, PK Starstorm using that Sigma ult, bringing everybody up in the air. Cloud Guy taking out Lunar Synergy with that visor. Shinbone, though, getting that pick on Cloud Guy is going to kind of help them out. Unfortunately, Avian on that Widowmaker is still in the fight.
Goodness.
And the Firebirds are getting taken out one by one. NECC now falls to Avian. I think Avian might have already a double digit.
I think Avian has to, especially after 2 more picks right there.
Oh
as the Firebirds are going to lose point number 2, as they are set up with a long 6 minutes ahead of them.
Very, very long amount of time. Unfortunately, Widowmaker is just going to play a little bit different here. They have a little bit more angles, but because you're indoors, the high ground is a lot more easily achievable by some of these heroes, I should say. Now, Shinbone switching to Genji is a decent counter to the Widowmaker. Unfortunately, the Cloud Guy, I like it. Cloud Guy taking out Shinbone as I speak with those Helix rockets. Foolish taking out Lunar Synergy. Tracer's not the move here. I don't know why. I think Tracer is just not going to really work out here because you have some really good burst damage here that's just going to wipe the Tracer out the moment they get a really good shot on him. Donut is going to be using Diva. Unfortunately, getting DMAC'd right off the bat. Shinbone taking out one of the Ducks' supports. allowing them to gain a little bit ground, but Shinbone is going to be taken out by Cloud Guy once again. Lunar Synergy playing for his life, trying his best to back up is surviving a little bit, but Donut and Nancake's taken out by just more and more of the Ducks. Both supports now are out of the fight, and the Ducks are basically going to finish this point with over 4 minutes on the clock. Now it's not over yet. The Ducks do have to push it just over 4 meters. And I say that the Firebirds not able to gain that
down
ground.
it goes. Wow.
I couldn't even I was tripping over my words there because as I was saying it just more and more dominance from the Ducks that we didn't see from map
that's
1 or map
crazy.
2. This is like a completely different team compared to map 2 on the Ducks. Like Avian and Cloud Guy, I think Avian never died.
I don't think so. I don't think the Firebirds were able to get to Avian once, and I think that was the problem there because the best bet they had was when Diva Dona completely dove them, and Diva Dona completely dove them. Look at that.
Today is just we're both tripping over our words. I don't know why. It's the weather. It's it's no joke.
Firebirds have a long road ahead of them on the escort here.
Yeah. Now Avian once again running that Widowmaker. I am not surprised in the slightest because it really was not doing well. Now Lunar Synergy running Pharah. That is probably the worst pick you could do against a Widowmaker. A Pharah
especially a Widow that's hitting her shots.
Exactly. A Pharah against a Widow, that is just target practice at that point. It's open season. You know, the moment Pharah flies up into the air, Widowmaker's just going to have no issue taking a shot and doing enough damage to either kill them or force Lunar Synergy to have to go back and get healed up by her support. So Lunar Synergy might pull. I'm hoping there's some trick that I'm missing here that we're going to see, but hard to say at this point. Now Avian trying to do a little bit of a trick shot.
I think I know the
building.
trick.
Oh, this trick.
I think it's a trick we're copying from our opponents last week.
Yeah, now Fuzzy is hiding on the back of that race car, using it as cover, and the rest of the Firebirds diving over to point. Cloud Guy taken out by Lunar Synergy here, but it looks like Avian is backing up fast enough, taking a little bit of cover. PK Starstorm taking out Fuzzy. Fuzzy's still on point, so that was the thing, is PK Starstorm, the rest of the team was being dove by the Firebirds and just kind of pushed up, taking out Fuzzy. Unfortunately, though, the rest of the Firebirds finally being able to back up, turn their attention away from the rest of the Ducks and focus on that Sigma, allowing them to get the finishing touch and allow them to really push this point. Now, they still have a lot of ground to cover, a lot of time that they need to somehow make. A lot of ground to cover, and
yeah,
I don't know. We'll hope to see it, but hard to say. The Firebirds really still sticking on to that Pharah against the Widowmaker. Now Shinbone taking out the Widow, though, as I say that, and I'm hoping this is the change that we needed. Shinbone on that Genji. We will see how that goes. Donut diving in, taking a ton of damage, though, immediately getting demech there by PK Starstorm, using that secondary, that pilot pistol to just unleash a lot of damage. Unfortunately, though, the rest of the Firebirds mopped up after Donut was taken out, and Shinbone is the remaining one trying to survive with Fuzzy. Fuzzy having used that biotic grenade to heal him up, heal himself up. But unfortunately, the Firebirds now losing a ton of time to regroup and regain that ground that they just lost.
Yeah, that's already time that you don't want to give up. The Firebirds got stopped on their first try of the point here. It's going to go down to 2 minutes at max. They're working with 3.5, 4 minutes going into the next point. But that's even if they can get this first point down. Clock is ticking even more now, and we see the Firebirds almost completely wiped once again, having to fall back, and they're going to have to resort to yet another push. That's going to allow for more and more space to be taken right now by the Ducks, and it's going to keep being taken as Cloud Guy pushes up with PK Starstorm. We reset here.
That was like a minute wasted off the clock, and the Firebirds gained literally no. I think they might have gained negative ground at that point, especially with the payload where it is. Every second they waste, the payload gets farther and farther away from where they left it, backing up now that the defense was able to regain control of it. Firebird switching off of Donut switching off of Diva onto that Wrecking Ball. Lunar Synergy switching off of the Pharah onto Ashe. I don't even know if that might be it. You know, you do have a little bit better, less of a target practice for
How did Donut get
Widow.
over there?
Widow, I don't even know. Using that grappling hook, I guess, to dive into the backline, disrupting a little bit. Now, Donut, though, taking all of the damage because, unfortunate Wrecking Ball having basically no shield. Just, unfortunately, Donut taken out right off the bat. And it looks like the Firebirds are going to once again be pushed back to the spawn. Now, Donut's back in the fight, but Shinbo taken out. The visor, I believe, is being popped by the Ducks. Donut is taken out again by the Zenyatta. What is going wrong? The Firebirds just coming back second map, but now all of a sudden just not changing.
Yeah, the crazy thing for me is how not close any of these maps have really been. Like Firebirds, pretty dominant fashion on map 2, but on maps 1 and 3, it's all Ducks.
Oh yeah,
and it's not close right now, and we're already in overtime. Everyone's getting caught in that ult. Does it lift them off the point? Not quite. Someone was able to stay on, but down goes Lunar Synergy there as the Firebirds stuck with another window to deal with and Baptiste Emort Field. Donut's doing his best, but it's just to no avail here as the Firebirds are grasping at straws in the final seconds of map 3.
See, Shinbone is able to do enough, getting some really key picks, but the rest of the team's not able to follow them up. You know, they lose the Widowmaker's taken out by Shinbone, and then immediately Cloud Guy starts being a dominant presence. And then maybe you take out Cloud Guy. Now PK Starstorm's getting kills. You know, it's just one after another. It's like this hierarchy. It's like a Hydra. You kill one person, two more are going to take their spot. And I think the Firebirds are going to need to use every second of this 5-minute break to really figure out what they need to switch.
Absolutely, and play of the game as it should be. Going to Avian for Widowmaker there as their Widowmaker was just unstoppable. Started off, wow, right on the head. Oh, I remember this. And then gets Shinbone yet again.
Yeah.
Woo! Very nice play there by Avian. We're going to take a quick little break as the Firebirds try to figure out what's going wrong as we head into the push map, so we'll see you in a few.
Welcome back, everybody, for map 4 of tonight's Overwatch game, NECC week number 2, the Challengers Division. It is your Carthage Firebirds against the University of Oregon Ducks. Now, tonight has been an interesting set of events. What did you think? Lay it out for us.
Well, I think this is the quickest I've ever made it to a game 4 in Overwatch. I think it'll probably be the quickest I've ever made it to a game 5. It's just been so back and forth, but like not in a close way.
No.
Map 1, Firebirds got rolled. I think the map took I think the entire map took like 12 minutes. And then map 2, the Firebirds, pretty dominant performance throughout all of it. Take that map. Then we go to map 3, and Avian must have had an aim labs break.
That's our working theory.
Because Avian just couldn't miss a shot as Widowmaker on Circuit Royale. Firebirds rolled on that one. Get rolled, I mean.
Get rolled.
And we're going now to map 4. Seems like we're playing Coliseo. And this is our first push map.
This is our first push map.
But if theory stands correct, the Firebirds will be in and out of this one in about 6 minutes.
Regardless of the outcome, I'm expecting this to be quick. If the Firebirds win, it's going to be quick. If the Firebirds lose, it's going to be quick.
No real grindy maps tonight.
No, it really is just a guaranteed, like you said, Midtown, the Firebirds rolling them the same way they got rolled, basically. And I just don't know what to expect from push, especially since the Firebirds don't have much experience on push outside of practice and their own seasonal games.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
But we are in Coliseo, and based on what I was overhearing out there, they do have some really they have strategies set in stone. So I'm hoping that's a good thing. We're gonna find out within probably the next 2 minutes whether or not this game is going to be as quick and easy as we thought. But the map design, though, is still very gorgeous, as is all of these maps on Overwatch 2. And I'd hope so.
Let's say, have we been playing on only new maps? No, we played on Oasis first.
Now,
but yeah.
I would hope that the maps are going to be well designed if they spent however long, 4
on
or 5
Overwatch
years with the game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
4 years of absolute nothingness. Just it's coming out eventually, and nothing on Overwatch 1.
All right, let's not bite the hand that feeds us. Blizzard comes in and
I like it though. I do like some
takes us out here.
I love the work that the maps have been put in, and I think Overwatch 2 really breathing a new life into Overwatch.
There you go. Nice cover.
General.
Nice cover.
But Firebirds using the same lineup as we saw on map 3, the previous map. Donut on that tank still, Lunar Synergy on and Shinbone on DPSs, Fuzzy and NECC on support, whereas also the Ducks running the same lineup, PK Starstorm, Cloud Guy, Avian, Foolish, and Genevieve. Avian, oddly enough, not playing Widowmaker, but playing Tracer, and that Widowmaker last map was a leading issue for the Firebirds, apparently. So hopefully we do see the Firebirds kind of able to get this upper hand. Unfortunately, we don't have game audio again for some reason, but we will have it hopefully shortly while the audio gets fixed. As I say that,
there we go.
Asking you shall receive.
We receive.
Somebody
once again.
listened. Somebody heard me from the interwebs and stuff, but we do see Lunar Synergy trying to seek out that Avian who's trying to dive the back line of the Firebirds. PK Starstorm missing his jump. Fuzzy taking out one of the supports for the Firebirds, and otherwise the Firebirds still contesting point. Here's the thing. We have Lunar Synergy and NECC pushing forward, whereas there was still somebody from the Ducks on point. So that was very risky. That was an issue we saw in the previous maps, where the Firebirds were not falling back if somebody was in the back line. And this time it worked out, and it benefited them.
Woo!
They were
Great
able to
pre-fire stuff there by NECC and Donut there.
Donut is a demon on Reinhardt. I think definitely a big threat to the Psychopreds dominance we've seen previously on Reinhardt. But overall, I am confident we're seeing some good aggression from the Firebird. Shinbone on that Reaper doing a decent amount of damage, exactly what we want, especially onto that Reinhardt. Unfortunately, though, Donut is taken out because the Ducks just completely fell on top of him. Shinbone getting Avian out of the picture, but Cloud Guy and Avian
tough right there.
mopping up the rest of them. It looked like Avian and Shinbone traded there.
Yeah, Firebirds almost able to get the first point of the push map here. And for those of you that are new to this one, as I was just a little bit ago, the push map is basically you have this robot that you fight over, and you try and take control of him, kind of like Escort. But the only thing that matters in terms of winning is how far that robot pushes that little rectangle you guys are seeing over there.
Very true. Now, it's just the logistics of it, the lore in a sense, the story behind it. I'm very confused on. Why is there a robot in the middle of Rome having to push these walls? Don't know. But regardless, Shinbone though taking out the Firebirds though, I should say, taking a lot of ground. We're seeing Donut getting a double kill there, getting a triple kill there.
Wow.
One
They
of which
recapped that robot.
with his charge. I don't know why, but it seems like, well, I should say I don't know why. When Donut's in the fight, the Firebirds are really gaining a lot of ground on that Reinhardt, and I think it's because he's playing it as a Reinhardt should, aggressive and defensively. You have that
Hold
even
up.
balance.
I need you to explain what you think makes aggressive defense.
So Reinhardt is able to push in when his teammates are ready, swinging that hammer left and right into a majority of the enemy team. However, when the Reinhardt is really struggling on that health and is making too much of a push into the other team, backing up slowly with that shield being raised. As I say that, unfortunately, though, a double, triple kill there, quadruple team kill there from the Ducks. The Firebirds are now suddenly having to regain all that ground once again, however, past that checkpoint, so that now once they reclaim it, they'll have a little bit more of a spawn advantage. Because once you claim that halfway point, once that robot pushes it to that halfway point for you, you get your respawn point moved forward and a little bit closer to the point.
Oh, interesting.
But Lunar Synergy popping that high noon, unfortunately not taking anybody, taking somebody out. I thought he popped it already. Shinbone taking out another person. Lunar Synergy getting double kill there for the Firebirds. Now this is it. This is the Firebirds I was expecting to see.
I was expecting to see it just because it was an even-numbered game.
Yeah. Now it's literally back and forth, night and day. I don't know what's up with this team right now, but this is the Firebirds we were expecting and we loved to see. Actually being able to play smart, playing well, hitting their shots, playing as a team, and it's showing. Now, here's the issue, though. When you're going underneath going above this bridge, when you're going underneath it, the other team is just going to jump on top of us, and take us out. But now that the Firebirds have pushed it around that turn, they have a really good stretch. But it's a good stretch as it is lengthy. But because the cover is not ideal, the Firebirds are going to have to play a lot smarter, taking that cover. We do see Donut trying to use that shatter. Unfortunately, it is being blocked, but Lunar Synergy using the high noon. And unfortunately, everybody of the Ducks are able to use some sort of defensive ability or take that cover, and Lunar Synergy not able to get anybody. The Firebirds are going to have to back up now. They have lost the robot. A lot of ground to be covered, but there's still a lot of ground that the Ducks need to gain. So the Firebirds really have it in them to play, really come back from this, I think. They just have to win a few more fights.
Yeah, I would hardly say the Firebirds have to come back at all. Like I expected here, we are seeing a dominance performance out of the Firebirds because, like I said, it's just following the pattern. Firebirds roll map 2 and 4. They're going to have to change it on map 5 if we make it there. We're finally seeing some push progress being made by the Ducks here as they have another good fight there, but Firebirds are going to come back with about 2, 3, almost 4 ults ready.
Yeah, it's probably going to be 3 ults there right off the bat, especially mixed with that beat drop. It all depends on where Shinbone is able to deploy that Death Blossom. If it is in the perfect spot, it's going to work out for them, being able to do a ton of damage. However, you do have to watch. We do see the beat drop being played by the Ducks, and unfortunately,
Cloud Guy.
a team kill there.
Oh my goodness.
4 kill from Cloud Guy.
We were saying we got to look out for Shinbone's Death Blossom. Turned out it was Cloud Guy all along. I started to get worried that they were already up top. I forgot they still haven't even made it to the first point here, but they'll do that in just a second here as the Firebirds looking to figure out the defensive mistakes they were making here and correct them in this next push.
Definitely. Now they are going to be using, instead of diving onto the Ducks, they're going to be diving to that point, which is pretty smart because they're able to get them inside, and Shinbo getting a double kill there. They fell into their trap. Donut getting a double kill, getting a triple kill there, and the Firebirds finally getting a team kill tonight. That was smart. If that was intentional, that was so genius. Leading them into
the closed
the internal area. And then just Shinbone being able to just press Q to win, basically.
Press Q to win.
Press Q to win. For those who don't know, the Q key on the keyboard is the default for that ultimate ability, and I believe that's what Shinbone has it bound to. So definitely working out, but there's still a decent amount of ground to cover, and they're finally meeting their resistance. Lunar Synergy taken out of the fight. Donut getting that shatter on the PK Starstorm. However, the Ducks are coming back, hitting these shots, getting some really good picks. They are now, the Firebirds now down to one player. Immediately, basically just getting the rest of their team mopped up. I don't know what's, all of a sudden the Ducks are gaining this ground again, winning these fights. And just more and more chat, more and more people talking in chat, you know, hi, a little bit of an exchange there. I don't know. I don't know what the Firebirds are, they're just, suddenly the Ducks are getting, you know, these really good hits.
Well, yeah, the thing is, on push maps, it's just so easy to gain the momentum. And once you have it, it's really hard to turn it the other way. And the Firebirds are just trying to slow it down right now. And they're doing a pretty dang good job considering they just got to hold it for another 30 or so meters for another minute and a half here.
At this point, they need to focus on just defense. I think you have to focus on that defense. You got to make sure, hey, I don't really care about pushing it all the way to the end. I want to, but I care more about just stopping the Ducks from pushing. And that's kind of what we're seeing here. Now the robot has switched directions, but we do see from our spectator vision that the Ducks are regrouping for this next attack, waiting for that robot to turn the corner onto that the Ducks, and we do see they're going to be just really much, we're going to see a shatter here, I guarantee it, from PK Starstorm onto the Firebirds, but it does look like Donut has one, so we're going to see battling shatters. Unfortunately, the shatter's not going to work out. Donut getting a pick on one of the Ducks, and Donut getting that shatter. Unfortunately, the beat drop's being dropped, but because the tank is down for the Ducks, we're going to see Donut running in, swinging that hammer, hitting them like nails, performing some beautiful construction work.
Some great momentum shift there, carried by Donut. The Firebirds look to just keep it far enough for these last 30 seconds. Keep it out of the Ducks' possession here.
Oh, yeah. Now, the 20 seconds left on the clock. Firebirds needing to hold it. I think at this point, if they lose a match, it's just not going to work out. It's going to be very scary because the Ducks don't have to push it that far. If they're in overtime. Now, Shinbone,
and Shinbone drops in the back line and almost wipes out the entire other team. Firebirds will get the team kill. Overtime clock ticks down, and map 4 goes to the Firebirds.
Oh my gosh, what a play! I was not expecting that in the slightest.
You heard him screaming in the other room.
I know. I'm sitting there. I'm like, oh, you know, the Firebirds, they really need to be playing. You know, they can't afford it. I couldn't hear what they heard.
They're yelling now that the Cloud guy got the play of the game instead of Shinbone right there.
Oh, that's stolen from Shinbone there. Look at that. Only getting a 3K. Okay, it was a 4K.
It was a 4K as well.
Shinbone having arguably a better play, a more meaningful play for the game because it turned the tide for the Firebirds.
Map 5.
Firebirds we're going to map 5. We don't see a map 5 that often, so I'm excited to see how this goes. Now it is going to be
back to control.
Back to control. I'm hoping the Firebirds are warmed up.
Absolutely.
Because if it meets the pattern of the control point on map 1,
hoping we see a different outcome. Firebirds have to break the pattern now in Game 5. We're going to be back with control in just a few minutes, so we'll see you then.
Now the Firebirds are also they're going to be choosing the map, I should say. So this is going to be a very good time, a very crucial time. So we'll catch you in a bit. Sorry about that. I had to say that. Welcome back, everybody, to tonight's Overwatch game. Carthage Firebirds versus the University of Oregon Ducks. The Battle of the Birds once again. I feel like it's happening.
What a
over and
weird
over
battle
again.
of the birds. Ducks versus phoenixes.
Well, it's we have so many. I feel like colleges have bird mascots all the time.
Yeah.
We've had the Ducks. We've had like the Falcons, the
Eagles, though.
Yeah. Insert other mascots here, but we're
You
here
better
for
give
Game
us our
5
game
for
song,
arguably
producer, man.
the weirdest Overwatch match I've experienced. Map 1 on Control. Firebirds getting destroyed. I cannot deny it, getting destroyed. Map 2, the Firebirds coming back and destroying on Midtown. Then Map 3 getting destroyed. Then Map 4 destroying. So I don't know what's happening here.
All I'm saying is the over-under right now on Firebirds winning this. Something tells me they're predicted to get destroyed. So if the Firebirds win this one, yeah, great start, first win of the season. But also this one's for Vegas right here.
Very true. Now, Firebirds did not do too well on this map last week. However, we did hear them. They worked on this map. They called out what they needed to fix, so I'm expecting to see a little bit down. Now, once again, the audio is for some reason not on in this game, but hopefully we can get that fixed once again. Linear Synergy on that Symmetra. Shinbo taking out Avian right off the bat for the Firebirds. Really, really good pick there for them. Now Donut being slept, however, because the Firebirds supports are just cracked at this game, they don't have to worry about that and are healing Donut back to full health. Now Shinbone being very aggressive here, diving onto the Ducks basically, but because what the heck? Litter Synergy having a dream and not letting it go to waste, continuing to just unleash damage after damage onto that Reinhardt shield, allowing the Firebirds to kind of just push them back. Unfortunately, Litter Synergy picked off, but because the Firebirds took out PK Starstorm, That's going to buy them some time. Lunar Synergy using that teleporter back onto point. Cloudy Guy is on that side point, but because once again the Reinhardt pushing forward, getting that nano boost, but immediately kind of struggling there, missing the shatter,
Oh my
Donut
gosh.
blocking it, and getting pinned, but because he's out of blood, the
Oh,
Donut's
down
gonna
he
see the
goes.
Firebirds getting a double kill there. Oh my gosh, what is happening? I can hear them shouting outside once again. Singing, what? Shitbone. You know, we thought that Avian and Cloud Guy did an aim labs between map 2 and 3, but looks like that they were doing it. The Firebirds were doing aim labs between these maps. Oh my gosh, hitting their shots, doing a ton of damage, and they have ultimate abilities. Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness, 4 out of 5 here.
But
Gonna see them coming from the top rope this time.
they're gonna drop onto Donut, but Donut has the shatter. Will we see it? Unfortunately,
it gets
being blocked by
blocked.
PK Starstorm, but is able to keep swinging because he's got that cover and is able to do a ton of damage.
Jeez
Firebirds getting another
Louise.
triple kill there. That was so well played by Donut, hiding underneath the rest of the ducks inside that building. And we can hear
Firebirds
them
want
laughing.
it. They
We can-
want it.
Oh
They
my
want
gosh.
it this time
They
around.
they are fired up. Whatever happened between maps 3 and 4, that spark ignited the Firebirds as we know and love them, and I'm happy to see it. I'm happy to see them going into 94% without a single percentage on the other side. They have to win this fight to take this round. Donut getting an immediate pin block, and the overtime clock has ticked. And it's going down. PK Starstorm taken out of the fight. And we're seeing ultimate after ultimate
goes
being
Genevieve.
played. NECC's popping the beat drop. The Firebirds take round 1 without a single percentage point on the... Oh my gosh. The Ducks didn't even touch the point, basically.
That's... Wow.
What happened?
What an assertive start
This
for
is
the
Overwatch.
Firebirds. This is Overwatch.
This is Overwatch.
That's crazy.
Oh. Now, Inner Sanctum is a different story because environmental kills are so heavily played. And last week, this was the one that they did not do too well. But it is best of 3 for control points. So we still have, if we lose, we still have this one.
Final countdown.
Doo-doo-doo.
Do-do-do-do.
Doo-doo-doo. It's the no, that doesn't work. Never mind. I ruined it. I thought it rhymed. I thought it worked. The syllable count was there, but unfortunately not. Firebirds though, still running the same comp. Reinhardt, Symmetra, Reaper, Ana, and Lucio. Unfortunately though, immediately NECC is taken out of the fight. It is just Fuzzy. The supports don't have as much healing. Cloud
my
Guy
gosh,
getting a
Cloud
double
Guy
kill
gets
there.
another one there.
Junkrat might have been the move there for them, and getting another kill there. That was, I believe, 3 kills there for Cloud Guy on Junkrat alone. Oh my, okay. That was an interesting tale of events, but because Reaper against a Junkrat isn't ideal, we do see Shinbone switching to a Ashe and Lunar Synergy switching to Cassidy. Good duo there, hopefully able to do a lot more focused damage, especially to those Symmetra turrets that Avian is going to be putting out into the field. Firebirds taking a different angle, a really
I don't even
unique
think I
angle.
knew that door existed until right now.
It's a door that is not played that often, but it works. 50% of the time, it works every time, and at this point, it is working.
If you do the thing,
If you do the
and
thing,
you do it right, and you don't mess it up, it works.
Cloud Guy, though, taking out Shinbone. Fuzzy, though, using a biotic grenade, taking out Cloud Guy. Lunar Synergy popping from the other angle, doing a ton of damage to the Ducks.
no.
Unfortunately, getting knocked off by the Lucio. Dona is trying to do front and center. A bunch of damage. NECC's taken out, though, for Dona. Dona just
Oh my
taking PK
gosh.
Starstorm off
All
the
right.
side, doing a trade there, a sacrifice.
Interesting. Interesting. Very chaotic here for both
Yeah.
teams. We're going to see Riptire ready to go for the next fight.
And that is not something I think the Firebirds are really going to have a great time with. The Riptires we saw last week, Riptires were not a good, did not cause joy for the Firebirds, I should say. It's just constantly causing issues. However, Donut having that Earth Shatter could be the move. If he hits it.
Oh,
and missing.
and there's
my gosh.
the Clouds guy.
Lunar Synergy missing all of those shots onto the Riptire and it resulting in a double kill. That just shows how crucial it is to either hit your shots when there's a Riptire or move out of the way. And unfortunately, Lunar Synergy tried to do it. I can't hit those shots as a Cassidy anyways, so It's not the easiest thing in the world, but we do see Shinbone going on to that Junkrat and the Donut getting nano boosted. Ton of damage being done, but is just not going to have it phase him. Going to be seeing that Symmetra wall being played. Donut using the pin, taking out Avian across the map.
Down
Despite
goes
that
Donut, though.
Lunar Synergy, though, using the high noon. Will we see it work out? Will we see it? It's not working. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Unfortunately, not working. But because NECC's popping that beat drop, it is 99% though, unfortunately, for the Ducks and oh my gosh, I can't
the
even
Firebirds almost take their first cap. We got Wrecking Ball coming in now. We'll get a pick there on Junkrat. Should get a pick on Junkrat.
Is getting a pick on Junkrat. And 99% Donut switching to Wrecking Ball, knocking them out. Firebirds have finally claimed the point. Now is the time the Firebirds need to set up on point and really secure that site.
Yeah.
I think Wrecking Ball is
interesting.
It's
I
an
think it was
interesting
more
pick.
so a mobility pick just to get back to the point and try and
Very
make sure you
true.
cap. Now they got to make it work, though. So we'll see how the Firebirds do with that.
Now, that minefield, though, is going to be a really good ultimate when it's available, you being able to lay it on the site and either doing a lot of damage to people
Or just denying the space.
Exactly. However, PK Starstorm switching off of Reinhardt onto that Diva. And as I say that, Lunar Synergy redeeming himself from before. And oh my gosh, we see the Riptire unfortunately getting shot by Cloud Guy. We saw both Riptires being destroyed there by the teams.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I was expecting that to work really, really well for the Firebirds. We saw they were all clustered inside that area. Donut using that grappling hook and doing some really good damage. Shinbone taking out Avian, though. That is a really good pick for the Firebirds. The Firebirds just needing to do just a tad bit more damage to get some picks. We do see Fuzzy having that nano boost. Unfortunately, PK Starstorm getting nano boosted as well. However, because
Oh my
Fuzzy has
gosh,
it,
there we
using
go.
it, we have the dueling nano boost here. Red versus blue, blue versus red. Donut having that minefield. Will he use it? Knocking the Diva to that side, or Diva flying to the side, trying to dive the backline, but because our backline is just better, is able to just 4v1 the Diva, and Shinbo taking him out. Oh my gosh, Donut having that minefield at his disposal still
man.
is ready, and we have that high noon, the Firebirds needing to hold this though. They cannot afford to lose a single fight. They cannot afford to lose point in the slightest, because a single moment, the Ducks will be able to claim that point, and it'll work out for them. Now, the defense matrix being baited out and the minefield being popped on top of them, unfortunately not getting any kills, but preventing them from backing up. And the DMAC for the PK Starship, the Firebirds are in overtime. Will we see it? Unfortunately, Shinbo getting picked off by the Genevieve Lucio ult, but because the High Noon's taking out one of the supports for the Ducks, the Firebirds are now getting such a dominant force. Will we see them be able to pull it off? I don't know. We're seeing the Riptire, though. The Riptire, Donut sacrificing himself. Will that work out? I don't know.
Great shot by Lunar Synergy!
Clock, and the Firebirds come back! Oh my gosh!
Oh my goodness!
Oh
Firebirds take it in map 5.
This was the biggest roller coaster. This was like the Rainbow Six stream. What is with it this week?
Ice in his veins. So listen, let's just break down that last play first. We have Junkrat left as someone else is rushing toward point. Donut makes the sacrifice play on the Riptire, gets taken out. Now it's up to 1 DPS as people are rushing back to get 2 picks in a row, and we see 2 headshots in a row out of Lunar Synergy to finish off map 5 there.
What a beautiful map 5. What a beautiful series of games, the Firebirds. Now, here's the thing. Last season, I remember hearing a statistic where at a certain point towards the end of the season, the Firebirds had this situation where if they had lost if they had lost map 1, they never won. They would just get 3-0.
No.
It was like if they lost a single map, they would get 3-0'd.
All right.
We've seen that that's not happening this time. And it was, I think because of that, it was a lot of the mental game. And we're seeing it here. Losing a map, the Firebirds are able to come back, find what works, find what doesn't work, adapt, improvise, overcome, and eventually being able to just do such a good job. I am so happy to see the Firebirds at this dominant presence, making up from the loss last week, even though it was a close loss. What amazing series of games.
Yeah, truly.
I never knew what was happening. At any point, I was never It was never that I was like happy the Firebirds were pulling, able to gain some ground, and then they'd lose some ground, and then they'd gain some ground. It was so back and forth. At no point this match did I have any sort of idea of what the result was going to be.
That's crazy.
When the Firebirds would be a dominant force, maps 2 and 4, just demolishing the Ducks in one way or another, and then maps 1 and 3 getting destroyed themselves. And we thought, in between those maps, just really not working out. I was excited to see it, but we do have, for the post-game interview, one of the star players of tonight, the captain, one of the co-captains, I should say, for the Overwatch team, one of the greatest players I know, one of the greatest people I know, the captain of your Overwatch team, who is now doing, okay, now we go, Donut. He was too busy doing a little bit of a handshake with Flair there. How are you? Okay, so you just put it on.
I'm not professional.
It's all good. What is going through your mind right now?
Well, so the first thing that's going on through my mind is one of my teachers, Ashley Greenwood. Shout out Ashley Greenwood. She pushed back one of my homework assignments so that I could focus on the game today. You're the MVP. I love you. You're an absolute gem. And the other one's just good vibes. So yeah.
Good. I'm glad. Now, just let's start from the beginning. Map 1.
Yeah.
What happened?
We were schmeckeldorfed. We had no idea what was going on, and just kind of tried to find our ground and find out how they played. And that was kind of just the first round was, what do we do? How do they do this? And get accustomed to their play style, I think.
Mm-hmm. And then going into, map 2, which is not a control point, hybrid, kind of a different strategy. You're going to have to, different mindset you have to put yourself in. What did you change going into Midtown that worked so well?
Honestly, Ian stepped up. I'm in that one. That was a big. Ian started just saying, "All right, hey, everyone, be quiet. Listen to me. I have a plan." And he was right on like 99.9% of his calls. So I wish he would have done that in the beginning. But when you see the win condition and you know exactly how you're gonna win, then at that point it's just our job to listen to you. And we did that. So
yeah. And then, going into map 3, you guys, we could not describe it any other way than you guys got absolutely destroyed on Circuit Royale. What happened?
So we wanted to try something new. There's something that we kind of messed around with a little bit in practice, and we thought this has potential. This is something we could mess around with, but we just haven't really had the time to put a lot of energy and a lot of teamwork and a lot of practice into it. So realistically, we tried something that we weren't yet ready for, and then we were like, well, just do it again. Maybe if all the stars align, it works perfectly. Mm-hmm. But it was just the fact that honestly, it didn't. And we just didn't know how to deal with that widow at the time. So going into the next map, I'm sorry if I'm stealing the thunder from you.
Well, you guessed correctly, because that was my next question.
Going into the next map, we kind of had the conversation. We're like, you know what? They like Brawl. We like Brawl. I think we're better than them. And that was just kind of the frank, I think our healers are better. I think our DPS are better. I think our tank better. Don't get me wrong. They're a phenomenal team.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it was one of those things where we played out of our comfort zone. And then once we decided, you know what, I think we just do what they do, the Carthage way, then that's when you really saw us soar.
The Carthage way. I loved it. I love that. And then, going off of the win in map 4, not continuing that pattern, and finally winning map 5, especially site 1. Let's break down map 5 specifically. Site number 1 on Nepal. You guys holding it completely. They didn't get a single percentage point. What do you think worked so well that time?
Oh, dude, if you could hear the comms, it was perfect. Everyone talked to everything, and I think it's one of those things where it's just we got in the mental, right? Mm-hmm. We beat you at what you did, and sort of like, well, this is what we know, and so we just kept going at them. And the whole time conversations, hey, you're out of my line of sight. Hey, you need to step back. Hey, you need to push forward. Everyone's screaming. Everyone's on the same page, and it was really just beautiful.
Yeah, and I mean, map 2 of that Nepal site, or site 2, I should say.
Right.
You guys started off very strong, and then you kind of lost it a little bit.
Yeah.
What, were you guys really kind of quiet at that point with the mental?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't silent. Like at Circuit Royale, I think it's called, the one where we got demolished. That was the one where we were silent, and that was really hard to deal with. But it was just finding that foothold. There's a lot of pressure that they had on their comp. which if you can break past the pressure, that's really good. And at that point, it's really hard for them to deal with. But it's just there's such an immense pressure to step through. You know what I'm saying? Like if you had to walk through fire to see grass on the other side, it's one of those things where you're like, I know this is going to suck, but we just have to do it. So I feel like once we finally step through, that was kind of the icing on the cake. And after that, once we found our rhythm, once we got comfortable, once we got set, we just got everything going like how it should.
Yeah, no, and it really showed. I mean, we could see at times it's very clear when the comms are quiet.
Yeah.
You know, people are not playing together. People are not playing Overwatch in a sense. They're playing more of a I'm going to try and hit my shots. But we did see the moments where you could tell it kind of came back together, and it paid off beautifully. So going into next week, what is something you're very happy you guys have down right now?
I think every time we play, every time we get together, we get just better comms and we talk to each other way easier. And so that's something that I think this year we're really going to structure our team off of. It makes us way more flexible to be able to try new things. Again, like we tried that thing earlier and we just weren't ready for it. But having good communication, having good trust in each other to make certain plays that might be a little risky, but you know what? I've played with this person for how many hours? I know that they can make that play. I'm so happy that that was something we worked so hard to get last season that we're already starting with it this season, which just really speaks to the potential that we have with this new team. Yeah.
Now, as well as going into next week, we saw some amazing plays, but it was not a flawless series of matches. Right. There was some things, some issues. So what do you think you guys are really going to need to work on this next week?
I think just practicing the things that we're weak on. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, we tried some things new and we just didn't practice it enough, right? And I think the most important thing, again, you can see when we're not talking to each other. We need to have that switch. I don't know who needs to be designated as like the person to flip that switch, but just say, hey, we got to talk. Because once we're talking, even if we're losing, that's such a different game than when we're all silent. Because the mental goes down, everyone kind of gets down on themselves, and then the play of us also go down. So
yeah, but overall, what a great series. I loved casting here with Flair. We could hear you guys shouting, celebrating out there. Even the one time where you guys didn't get to play the game, when Shinbo needed to play the game, we could hear you guys shouting in anger and frustration there. But otherwise, was a phenomenal series of matches tonight. Thank you so much for joining me for this post-game interview. To the viewers at home, thank you so much for tuning in. We will be back tomorrow night for some Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, I believe at 6 p.m., and then back on Tuesday of next week for some Rainbow Six Siege. Be sure to follow us on all of our social medias at Carthage Esports. We got Instagram, Twitter. We got all the whole 9 yards. A great time. Thank you so much for tuning in once again, and have an excellent night.
The high Wheaton shoves that right over to the Lions half. Looks like this one's going in. Are you kidding me? Donut over behind. We're going to see the barrage. The barrage.
Oh my gosh, Nico is just dominating right now.
What a play.
That's disgusting.
Oh my gosh.
That was disgusting.
time when I don't feel like going home. It's when you stick around and hold me warm. I just wanna be with you.